Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Our Nerdiest Thing. Today we have a very special guest, author Morgan Gauthier. Morgan is the author of The Mark of the Hunter Trilogy, Wolves of Adalore, The Red Maiden, and The Raven and the Wolf, as well as Aloha, Seattle, and The Maine Attraction, both contemporary romantic comedies. Morgan lives in East Tennessee with her husband and best friend Brad and their 3 children, Remi, Archer, and Roux, who are 5 years old and younger. If 5 people wreaking havoc in the same house wasn't enough, she also has 3 dogs, Potter, Skye, and Bubba. If Morgan isn't writing or reading, she can be found binge watching Netflix shows, attempting to cook like Gordon Ramsay, not even close to his level, and practicing archery. Welcome to the podcast, Morgan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm really excited.
I really want to know if you cuss like Gordon Ramsay does while you cook.
I try not to in front of my kids.
It depends on the recipe, I'm sure.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's more internally screaming than out loud.
Your kids' names are so awesome. I love them.
Thank you. Yeah, we wanted names that you didn't hear super often because we didn't want our kids to be like the third, like so-and-so in their class. So we kind of thought outside the box.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit more about yourself, Morgan. 3 kids, 5 and under. That tells us a lot right there about what your day-to-day looks like, right?
Yes, it's hectic. It's chaotic. There's no quiet. And if there is quiet, that means there's trouble. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm a wife. I'm a mom. My husband and I met working at a pizza restaurant and bar in downtown Baton Rouge.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah, we were actually really good friends first. And then one day I was just like, when are you going to ask me out on a date? As a joke. And then he actually asked me out on a date. And I was like, oh, this is for real a date. And yeah, I mean, we used to go places by ourselves all the time, but this was like a legit date. He did like a whole picnic with my favorite foods.
That is so sweet.
Yeah. And then we've been inseparable ever since. So
I love that.
Yeah, I'm a terrible cook. I do try. My husband is the cook. I'm obsessed with watching Gordon Ramsay, but I just can't seem to get it right. I've burned so many things, and I mix spices and things like that. Weirdly, I even tried to do steak, and instead of using the cumin, I picked up cinnamon. So you know
what?
Different.
Cinnamon and red meat can be really good, though. A thing in the north is Skyline chili. It originates in Cincinnati, and a huge ingredient is cinnamon in that, and it is so good.
It's true.
So you were on to something. Keep trying.
I wish I had nailed it.
Okay, do you watch Nailed It? Have you ever seen that show? Okay, because I'm thinking as you're talking about burning stuff, like me and my kids will watch it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they can't actually be this bad, can they?
They can be. I would probably lose the show. So.
I think that's part of the fun, though, is going on and losing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd have fun.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
I wouldn't be producing anything worthwhile.
Yeah, I don't love to cook, and it's because I want to just change things too much and like do it my way. And I think you've just kind of pointed out that that's not how it works. So, yeah, I don't cook. My daughter loves to cook, so it works out for me.
As long as the family has one,
that's right. Fine. Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about how you got into being an author. You know, what got you into crafting stories? Like what drew you into writing? Like tell us like your, quote unquote origin story.
All right. So the origin story, I've been writing since I was about 10 or 11 years old. It was just kind of my pastime. I always had notebooks. Wherever I went, I was just jotting away. And still to this day, that's my process. I write down in a notebook before I put it in a computer. I can't sit at a computer and write and be productive.
I can understand that.
I can too.
So, yeah, I started then. And about when I was 11 years old, I watched the Fellowship of the Ring, the Lord of the Rings, right? The first movie that came out. And I was hooked on anything and everything fantasy that I could get my hands on. So I was reading constantly, writing different stories, short stories, not very good ones, but they improved over time, right? But the Mark of the Hunter Trilogy, these books here, and this is the special edition omnibus.
Oh, they're beautiful.
that just came out, or it's coming out. It's just my copy that I got yesterday, actually.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
Awesome.
I started writing this trilogy when I was 14.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been
Jinx.
on and off for so many years. Yeah, I mean, it just was a story that never left. And I kind of gave up on the idea of writing and publishing. And then when I met and married my husband, he was super, super supportive. He never even read anything I'd written, but he's like, you could totally do it. You could do
That's so
it.
great.
You just need to really, if this is something you want, you actually have to put in the work and the effort and quit with the excuses. He's not my yes man. He's my, I'm going to give you that good kick to the butt. And I'll still love you and support you. And that's what I needed. And sometimes when we become moms, we think, oh, well, all my dreaming is over. My career is over before it even began. I didn't publish my book until my youngest was a year old.
Oh, wow.
So I already had 3 kids, and I just kept plugging away, and I finally finished it and published it. And this April will be my 2nd year as a published author, and my 5th book will be coming out April 12th.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, that's amazing.
That's so
Thank you.
great. Well, I want to hear more about your Mark of the Hunter series. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it is a young adult epic fantasy. It's full of adventure. It's fast paced. It's got lots of swordplay and magic and battle scenes, creatures. It does follow mainly 3 siblings, 2 sisters and a brother. It's basically sibling bonds and rivalries,
Oh,
right?
that's great.
They're all vying for the throne. The oldest sister kind of came through, took everybody out, thought she got her 2 siblings too, gave them the axe, and they actually got away without her knowledge.
Wow.
And now that they're old enough, 17 and 18, they're basically coming for her, right?
Ooh, I really like that.
Yeah.
It's got lots of points of view, and I describe it like a funnel, because if you're not really into a lot of point of views, this might be a little tricky for you. I do include a character list and a map, so you do get.
That's how I know I'm going to like a book, though. If there's a map that I need to look at, because there's nothing better than because I love world building in books and being able to flip to the front of the book and go, okay, all you have to do is go up and over, and you're in this other, But and the character list too, because sometimes in fantasy as well, the pronunciations can be different than you think they're going to be. And in our normal weekly podcast, Mindy always does she does some etymology of names and how we're actually supposed to say the names. And so she'll tell us how we're supposed to say them based off being an English nerd. And then I will hear the same name differently on the audiobook, and then I'll hear the author say it differently. Yeah. So sometimes that breakout of the character names is really nice in the book.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So, I mean, I always like to include those lists because it helps me. I always put things in books that'll help me as a reader. So I hope it helps other readers. But yeah, so basically it's, people have described it as Game of Thrones meets Lord of the Rings, but young adult, so no explicit sex, right? So there is
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that is the hill I'll die on. I will not put anything explicit in a young adult
Here's
book.
the thing. You don't have to have that for the book to be good.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
You really don't.
That's just not my thing as far as young adults go.
Yeah.
Because that's just the target audience you're going for. You want it to be appropriate.
And,
but it does have romance.
Are you finding, though, that you see some books on the shelf? I will go to the bookstore and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is that in YA?
Yeah.
Why did they put that there? Yeah. And I mean, my daughter's 15. And so I have to have read, even if it's young adult, I have to read it or at least talk to someone that's read it before she's allowed to read it, because that sometimes does not mean anything to the author at all. So thank you for standing on that.
Yeah, that's refreshing.
Yeah, no, it's the hill I will die on. There should be no smut in young adult fiction. I know that romance is good, kissing and pining and even, innuendos or fade to black.
Right.
But that's as most as young adults should be. I actually have had readers who said spice level, and I'm just like, well, it's young adult. Is there smut? No, it's young adult appropriate.
Right. Yeah.
And then I've even had people well, there's no smut. I'm not reading. I'm like, that's okay. Yeah. I'm not going to take a book that's targeted for 13 to 18-year-olds and kind of be irresponsible with what I put in there. If it's new adult or adult, it's fair game, because you expect different spice levels as you're 18 plus, right?
Right.
But I mean, I look at it as my kids, my daughters, my almost 6-year-old, she's already showing interest in wanting to read not only books that I've written, but I've got a little library here at my house.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to read them. And I'm just like, there's certain books that mommy will not let you read.
Right.
But there are a lot of books that she will be able to read. But I don't want anybody to look at, my work and be like questioning, can I pick this up? It says young adult. I don't know if it's appropriate for my teenager. It is.
Right.
Nice.
That's lovely.
That is great.
Yeah, I've got a lot of moms who've actually read these books because young adult, anybody can read them, right? It's just young adult means that your target audience and your main protagonists are in that 13 to 18 range, right? But I've had moms who read it and they said they can't wait to hand it to their preteens or the teens. So that's like a huge compliment for me because I feel like I did my job and I was responsible with the genre.
So what are your favorite types of stories to write? And then also on the flip side, what are your favorite types of stories to read?
So I love reading fantasy. I'm a mood reader. So if I'm not reading fantasy, I do like a good rom-com once in a while. And I love a whodunit. I love Agatha Christie books and Nancy Drew books. So a good murder mystery is kind of like that cozy fall time read for me. And then writing, I love fast-paced action adventure, like classic action adventure. With my new book that's coming out in August, I decided to go really old school with problems that I thought were, things that I thought were going to be problems when I was a kid, like lava. Stuff like that.
Quicksand. Yeah, I'm like, I really thought that I was going to have to worry about quicksand as an adult.
Like as a kid, I was like, I got to be prepared for lava. I got to be prepared to one day be dropped in the middle of the jungle and have to survive all those temples of doom. So I do include a lot of that in my new series, but that's what I like to write. I like to write something that is fast-paced. It keeps your interest. I'm not the type of writer with my world building. I like to give you world building, but not pages and pages and pages of it. I know that some authors really get to that, and that's awesome. That's just not my style. I can't focus. That's just not how my brain works. I need something that gives me a picture, but keeps it moving, if that makes sense. So that's what I like to write. And everything I write has to have some kind of romance in it. It might not be the main plot. Like these trilogy, there's romances. There's a few different kinds of romances, but it's subplot. Whereas the one I'm working on now, that is a new adult fantasy adventure romance series. So
is that the one that comes out in August?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and it'll be exciting to read something of yours that's young adult and then read something that's new adult and see the differences in that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It is a slow burn, enemies to reluctant allies, lovers. So
I'm hooked now.
Yeah. So as far as it's definitely going to be steamy. I don't know spice level quite yet. I need to see where the series takes me, but right now it's just supposed to be nice and steamy.
Well, we are excellent ARC readers. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, I'm going to be assembling more ARC team members come July. So I'll
that's
definitely
exciting.
One.
Please.
Yeah, we'll put it in our calendar for July 1st.
So comes out, though.
That's how nerdy we are. I know this is called our nerdiest thing, but we calendar when books are coming out because we're that ridiculous.
So what kind of nerdy hobbies or interests or fandoms are you a part of or do you enjoy?
So my husband and I are some big nerds, right? So he's a gamer. I'm a reader, and we love, I love Lord of the Rings. I normally watch the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies at least twice a year. So that I think is my biggest one. I love Lord of the Rings. I also really have gotten into like ACOTAR since I joined Bookstagram, right? It's a comfort read almost.
That's
Me
one
too.
of those that after the first book, though, it should not be in YA.
Yes.
Yes. I was in Barnes and Nobles the other day, and I was like going through the young adult section, and I saw like Silver Flames, and I was
Yes.
like, you know, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
You know.
It's in the YA section at Target too. It makes me crazy. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be horrified if my daughter like was like 14 and picked it up.
Oh my gosh.
No, not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Not yet.
No, I totally agree. So now we're going to do what we call our nerdy and dirty speed round. So I'm just going to give you some prompts and we want you to answer. Don't think about it. Just whatever comes to your head first. Are you ready?
I hope so. Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong answer, but we will tell you if you're correct or not. So,
Oh, okay. If you want to see me panic, let's do it.
all right. Favorite cocktail?
I don't have one anymore.
Oh, well, all right.
For you.
I know that's boring. I do love Dr. Pepper though.
Hey, Dr. Pepper's
me too.
delicious.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
that's my
enjoy
poison
Dr.
of
Pepper.
choice.
Have you tried the strawberries and cream one?
No.
It's so good.
I haven't tried that
I'm
one
gonna have
either.
I didn't know they had that.
I know.
Delicious.
Add it to the list. Favorite fandom?
Lord of the Rings.
Most binge-worthy TV?
I'll say Wednesday Addams. I've binged it twice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Guilty pleasure?
Eating hot Cheetos in bed and watching junk.
I love it.
A book character you'd get nerdy and dirty with?
Thomas Cresswell from Stock and Jack.
Nice.
Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Edward.
Yes, correct. Who is your book boyfriend or bestie?
Ooh. Can I say Thomas Cresswell again? I love him.
Of
Sure,
course.
yeah. Who is your book girlfriend or bestie?
I'll say Pharaoh. Let's get down with Pharaoh.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Smut or plot?
Plot.
Favorite childhood book?
It's called Mara, Daughter of the Nile by Eloise McJarvis, something like that.
Oh, cool. I haven't
I've
heard
not
of that
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know that one. Awesome. And-
Yeah, she's like a double agent in ancient Egypt. It's really fun.
oh,
That's
cool.
fun.
And favorite cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Excellent.
Okay, so in the same vein of the nerdy and dirty speed round, we're just going to change it to hot or not. Okay, so first thing that comes to your head, and if some of them are situational, some of them are celebrities. If you don't know who they are, just say pass. That's totally cool. So number one, Pedro Pascal.
Hot.
Yes.
No.
No.
It is a point of contention
We
on
are
this podcast.
divided on that.
That's why he's the number one question. So, because every time Whitney's like, yes. Okay, Miley Cyrus.
Not.
Tessa Thompson.
Hot.
Paul Rudd.
Ugh. Hot.
Cute. Yeah, we need to say hot, cute, or not.
Yeah.
Touch her and die tropes.
Hot.
Yeah. Sebastian Stan.
Hot.
Jensen Ackles.
Hot.
Small town romance.
Not.
Yeah. Ben Barnes.
Oh, yeah, hot. Yeah, I thought I was going to marry him.
I didn't think he was hot until he was the Darkling. And then I was like, okay, I'm seeing it. And then
He's been hot.
Whenever Shadow and Bone came out a couple weeks ago, he did this ASMR reading, and I sent it to Whitney, and I was like, I think I've watched this like 4 times.
See, I fell in love with him during his Prince Caspian.
Yeah.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the hair.
Right.
The hair. Yeah.
His hair was as beautiful as yours in that movie.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. He's my inspiration, apparently.
That's right. Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, he's hot. He's all right. He's hot, I guess.
Someone that you think is good looking being sweaty after a workout.
Henry Cavill.
No, I mean, do you think that's hot, though, if he was sweaty after a workout? Hot or not?
Well, Henry Cavill, I guess. Yeah.
We need to add him to our list.
Yeah,
I
that's a good one.
legitimately cannot wait for my husband to watch this and be like, really?
Okay, so Morgan, our podcast, I mean, we do have cuss words and stuff, and we're reading adult fantasy books, so we too talk about smut and stuff like that. And my husband's our producer and editor, and sometimes he'll text me and he'll be like, "Really?" I'm like, I guess so. We're learning a lot about each other. We've been married for 20 years, so okay. Hot or not, The Rock?
No.
Yeah. Janelle Monáe.
Hot.
Tom Hiddleston.
Hot, I guess. Oh.
Miles Teller.
Hot.
Second Chance Romance.
Not my favorite.
And Kristen Stewart.
Not.
People feel very adamant about her one way or the other. Yeah. It's really funny. Okay, so we're going to see you at the Imaginarium Book Festival in May. I'm so excited to actually meet you in person. But tell us what else you have going on this year. What festivals or projects are you working on?
Okay, so festivals, I will be at Imaginarium. I am working on getting some signings at Barnes & Noble in the Tennessee area. Maybe
send us those. We're not far from you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're just up in Louisville, Kentucky, so we're not super far from you at all.
Oh, you're not. Not at all, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to do some little signings throughout the summer. In October, I will be signing in Memphis. So I've got those festivals, conventions going on. And as far as projects go, the third book in the Mark of the Hunter Trilogy and the special edition omnibus both come out April 12th. And then my new adult fantasy romance adventure, the title reveal is March 30th, but I believe by the time this airs, it'll be already put out there. So it's called The Song of Shadow and Starlight.
Oh, cool.
It is in the Shadow and Starlight series. So it's perfect for fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender who want ACOTAR vibes without explicit sex and Dungeons and Dragons. So
it's fun.
Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I am currently working on getting the trilogy in special hardcovers for each one.
Oh,
so
that's
hopefully I can do a
great.
surprise drop maybe this summer or fall.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Nice.
Yeah, I try to keep myself busy, I guess.
Well, if not, your husband's going to be on you telling you to get to work. So
yeah, he keeps asking me, when are we going to get that Netflix money? I said, from your mouth to God's ears.
Tell him, hey, you're like, I'm on all these podcast interviews. I'm trying.
Oh, he's like my biggest fan. He's so supportive. He gets all giddy and excited. He's like, so we're one step closer to me getting a boat and being a trophy husband? I'm like, yeah. One more step.
I love that. That's cute.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that we can best support your work?
Honestly, following not just me, but any author you like on social media, engaging in posts, like liking, commenting, sharing. Shares are really awesome for us. If my books, all my ebooks are available in Kindle Unlimited if you're a member.
Oh, we love KU.
Kindle. Yes.
Yeah. So, going to KU, getting those pages swiped for us, reading the book, enjoying it. If you like our books, putting a review on Amazon is huge. Goodreads, and blasting on social media. Word of mouth is everything in this business. So telling your friends, family, whoever, that's really how you can best support, indie authors, is really just helping spread the word about their books.
So
if you don't like my books, it's okay. You can still leave a review. Just don't tag me in negative.
We do not do that.
Yeah, we don't. And you're not the first person that said that. So, yeah.
And you know what? Not every book is for every person, but there's no reason to be a jerk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't need to know that you hated it and think I'm the worst. So, don't tag me in that, because I'm still a human and I'll probably go eat a bag of Cheetos, and I don't need to do that. So,
but you said you liked hot Cheetos. So, have them if you're in a good mood, if it's a treat yourself. But we did have someone tell us earlier that she got trolled by a group of people and didn't write for a year and a half. Isn't that horrible? She said it was
I can
so
believe it.
detrimental, and I'm like, just people forget that you're human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even had somebody slide into my DMs and told me how they would have written my book better, and I was like, okay, well, that wasn't constructive
Well,
at
then
all.
they can go write their own book.
I would have been like, good luck.
Well, and next time just say like, here's my publisher's phone number. Good luck.
Yeah.
I always say that about the podcast too. I'm like, if you don't like it, start your own podcast. Good for you.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. People sometimes don't realize how much work goes into actually getting a book done, especially if you have a full-time job, or if you're like me, a mom with kids, and you're very busy all the time. So it's definitely something that if you really want to do, it takes a lot of hard work. Somebody asked me if they could publish a book in a day, and I was just like, I don't even know if this is a serious question.
I guess you could upload a PDF. But how horrible for someone to think that you could write something amazing in a day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I can write a good, thought-provoking paragraph that I would want to publish in one day.
No.
It takes years sometimes.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where can we find you online?
I am on Instagram heavily. That's where I am most of the time with my announcements or my marketing, anything like that, my news. So Instagram, I'm at author Morgan Gauthier. I do have a Facebook. I do have like a Pinterest they're all under at author Morgan Gauthier. My Pinterest, if you want to see like my visual inspiration, my boards for my books and stuff, that's where you'll find them.
Oh, I love that.
I also am on TikTok. Clapper that just came out. I really don't know too much about it, but I did
don't know what that is.
I don't either.
My handle. Yeah, it's just in case TikTok shuts down. That's what it is Clapper. So I just went and got my handle. I posted a couple videos, but I'll be there as well to see how it goes. But that's where you can find me. But like I said, Instagram is really, if you want all the updates and news, that's where
all
you
the
want to
good
find
stuff.
me.
And finally, when we record our podcast, we always talk about our nerdiest thing of the week. So we would like to know what your nerdiest thing of the week was, something that you did or experienced. And if there wasn't anything in the past week, you can go, a couple weeks or a month or whatever.
Okay, recently. So yesterday, this gal came in. This is the omnibus. It's the special edition.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mark of the Hunter omnibus.
It is really beautiful.
And it's all 3 books in one. So if you want a hardcover, and this is the best part. This is my favorite part, at least. It's got beautiful artwork.
That's gorgeous.
I love
the main characters.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Do you know who illustrated that?
Yeah, this is all of my art for the Mark of the Hunter trilogy has come from the same artist. It's Arts of Skye, so ARTZZOFKAE.
Okay.
She is like amazing. She's doing artwork for me for my new series as well. But all of the artwork that you see for Mark of the Hunter, the overlays, the prints, they come in the books, like the prints in the books as well.
That's awesome.
Morgan, I think we follow them because I think you've tagged them before, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think we do follow them. Yeah, I love book artists. They are one of a kind type of artists.
Yeah, and actually it's funny because she had never done covers before. And I asked her if she would take a chance and do a cover for me after she did some prints for me. And she said, we'll see how it goes. And this is how they went.
Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
And we have this one. The third one is blue.
That is so special. And
it's really cool.
I love that you took a chance on her having never done a cover before either. That says a lot about her work and just that you believe in the creative process that goes behind those things too. So as an artist, thank you for supporting artists. I think that's wonderful.
Oh yeah. I love the Bookstagram community of artists and people who bring characters to life. I was glad she even took me on as a client, and now I'm one of her most frequent clients. I get work from her done all the time. But yeah, so that was my nerdiest moment. I fangirl. My husband's like, you're fangirling over your own book. I said, yes, I
should.
am.
Yes,
you see it?
100%.
So yeah, so he was like really geeked out too. that's how I know I'm cool, because my husband literally said, "Wow, that's really cool." And I'm just like, yes, I did it. I got the nerve to say I was cool. That's how you know.
That's so great. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and chatting with us. It's been a really awesome conversation, and nice to meet you and get to talk to you a little bit.
We look forward
Yeah, I've had a blast. Thank you so much for having me.
we look forward to meeting you in person at Imaginarium.
Oh, yes. Come bombard my table. We'll bear hug it
we
out.
will.
and
We
all
will.
of it.
Don't you worry. You'll be like, oh my God, it's those podcast girls.
I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, somebody that actually knows me, because I'm still a small fish in this world.
We'll be
so.
like, come over here. She's the best.
Yes. We'll come take pictures, hugs, all of
Oh,
it. Yeah.
I would love that. All right. Have a great night, Morgan. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.